Everybody, hello. Jessica Coulter here of Ace Cookie Tutoring. Welcome to day 3 of our myth series this week, all about learning. So, guys, I want to know, parents that are watching, does your teen get angry when learning? Now, this could be something at school, this could be something at home. Has your teen ever gotten angry? Especially if it's something new, especially if it's something tough. So let me know with a yes down below or no. And, definitely feel free to tell me what it was that made your teen so angry. Was it because it took a long time to understand? Was it just because it was difficult? Let me know as much as you'd like so I can come up with future videos for you guys on that subject. So we're talking about this because I have a pretty awesome Facebook group that you might not know about, might not be a member of, called Teaching Teens to Love Learning, a group for mamas. So if you're not part of that group, I would love to have you so you can interact with the other moms in the group. So let's talk about this, guys. Let's talk about why your teen gets angry, what you can do about it. And I want to tell you that it's not uncommon for teens to get angry. It's not uncommon for pretty much anyone to get angry when learning something. And when I say angry, I mean frustrated. I mean, kind of wanting to pull your hair out angry. I mean, wanting to just call it quits angry. So, yesterday we talked about giving up and why we shouldn't do that. Today, I want you guys to understand that for me, myself, there were lots and lots of times in school, high school, college for sure, probably even middle school, when I would get so angry, I just would cry. I mean, that is kind of unfortunately who I am, that instead of throwing stuff across the room, storming out of the room, I would just start crying. And I gotta tell you, it's pretty embarrassing as a student for that to happen, to be writing down notes in math class and be like, I'm so frustrated, I'm so confused that I start to cry. I mean, to this day, it still happens when I get angry. It's one of those kind of family jokes that there's a couple family members that I'm close to that it happens to them. So it's like, okay, it just must be an us thing. So I want you to know that if your teens do that, your preteens are to that point where they just start bawling, whether it's silent tears, whether it's like an all out thing, then just know it can happen. It's not anything to be surprised about. Okay. So, how did I deal with that? How did I, not kind of embarrass myself at school? How did I keep it together? And what did I do? Well, that's part of the reason we're here talking about this, guys, because I want you to understand, moms and dads, that if this doesn't happen to you, but it happens to your teen, they need to have some skills, some kind of tools to pull out to make it through those kind of classes, to make it through those kind of experiences. Before I tell you what works for me and what I've taught other students, do know we're live on Facebook right now. We're live on YouTube. So if you haven't hit the follow button on Facebook, haven't hit the subscribe button on YouTube, you are missing out on these amazing live videos. Because I gotta say, the more live you watch, the more interactive we can be and the more fun it can be. So definitely tune in, guys, as you can when we're live. So let's go back to this idea of being angry. The simplest thing for me to tell you, the thing that we need to get your teens to do if they're getting really angry and frustrated at school or when working on homework or with, like I said, learning anything, is to be able to get to that point where you're more focused on understanding it, more focused on, okay, I will learn this, just not right now. Okay, so what for me would happen, like I said, if I'm in a math class taking all those notes, I had to get to that point where I was more focused on, I've got to gather everything, I've got to write down everything, I've got to pay attention enough that when I go home and when I do this on my own, when I do this as homework, when I'm studying for the test, that I am going to teach it to myself. Okay, so that's what I tell the students I tutor, that I coach, is that if you're to the point where you're feeling so overwhelmed that you need to cry, that you need to leave the room, that you just want to give up, is you've got to get past that enough that you're still able to function, write it all down, and know you will understand it, just not right now. Okay? So if your teen needs those strategies on how to write notes, your teen needs to know, how do I gather the information and teach it to myself? That is one of those services that I offer through my program, Love to Learn. I know that the moms in my group have all sorts of things that have worked for them, for their teens. So I want you to hear from them as well, because it's always fun to learn from new people to hear what has worked for their teens. Because I got to tell you, sometimes your teen, if it's not a lecture and it's just the environment of the classroom, there's just something going on that has your teen to the point where learning is not going to happen right that moment, then, sometimes leaving the class is the right choice, whether it's a bathroom break, a water break, even if it's just a quick walk around school, obviously not without the teacher's permission, without the teacher knowing where your kid's going. But just know that our strategies your teen can use to not be so angry and instead realize, okay, I can get through this. I can, get past this and instead focus on gathering information and learning it when I am calmer, when I don't feel so overwhelmed, and when I can learn it in a way that works for me. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope to see you in the group very soon. Remember, all you got to do to join the group, click the link in the description, answer a couple questions, and you'll be in. So you can talk to a whole lot of moms and a whole lot of awesome speakers I have coming up at my event, Love to Learn. So thanks so much. Have a good night. See you in the group soon.